Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I question why Italian fascist Benito Mussolini is Sean's celebrity crush.
He's not. I'm Sean Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
Remington, you can't just say shit like that. What if this is somebody's first episode of the podcast, Remington? They would have no idea. They'd be like, this guy's into Mussolini? Like, first of all, if you're gonna choose somebody...
I was shocked, too.
If you're gonna choose somebody from the Axis powers, surely you go for somebody with a bit more clout. But no, you... my God, Remington, what the hell am I gonna do with you? Okay. So, Remington, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't know if you're going to enjoy this.
Motherfucker, you have thrown shonen at me. Not just shonen, but bullshit rule shonen weeks in a row. And then you're like, oh, now here's the bad news.
Well, it's not your fault that you didn't like what I showed you already.
I mean, it's shonen, so like we all knew.
Well, not everybody knew. I mean, some folks thought that last week would have gone a bit better than it did, but, you know, Po Buddy's nerfed. So, this week, Rem, since I'm not certain how it's gonna go, I'm gonna give you a choice.
Oh, fuck.
This is gonna be a controversial choice. First and foremost, I'm gonna alleviate some of your stress. It's gonna be a movie, either way.
Okay, that makes things easier. As well as for the fact that our listeners don't know, but I am in just the thick of it with finals. So yep. I am pleased to just get a movie that I can crank out and be done with.
As per usual, Remington loves to crank things out and be done with them. He doesn't like to savor the experience, really.
You said we would talk about it off the podcast, John.
I did. Your girlfriend doesn't know yet, right? She still don't talk about it? We're still good there?
And she doesn't need to, at least until she gets to this episode.
I don't think she listens to the podcast. We're fine.
We say that, but literally the last time we said that, right? Mm-hmm. The very next day, because normally she doesn't. The very next day, she listened to the episode that we said that.
Oh, God, what did we say in that?
It was about her obsession with cars and Cars Nightlight, and don't worry about it. But
yeah, okay, yeah, I remember that.
Her timing is impeccable. Nonetheless, all right, so what are my choices? What types of movie hell are we going through?
Well, Remington, I figured that we have a history, and because of that history, it's been a bit difficult with some folks. So I figured we should appease them by showing you something that... I'm just gonna cut to the chase, Remington. We're visiting Ghibli again.
Oh, okay. If I have a choice, whatever one has the least amount of plot. I've long maintained on this podcast that with good old Gibbles, with the big Gib, and all his Ghibli bits, I've long maintained that he has great characters, lovely worlds, everything is so charming and the details are superb, but the plots are pretty bad.
Well, about that. So, Rem, essentially you have a choice. You have a choice between what is universally considered to be the worst Ghibli movie.
Oh, no!
And one that I think you'll either have a subtle appreciation for, or it'll make you very angry. I don't know which it'll do for you.
I mean, I guess that one then. If there's a chance, I'll like it.
There's a chance.
Oh,
but
God.
It has a very divisive audience, I've come to realize.
Hey, man, so do I. It's something we have in common.
Okay, well, so you're choosing the one that could have a good result, potentially.
Yeah, good old controversial one.
Okay. And it's it was a bit hard to choose this because, as we all know, with a lot of Ghibli or Ghibli films, no matter what, you're going to find people praising them to high heavens.
Yeah.
There's only one that's universally hated, and we will do that one eventually. But clearly, you're not interested in doing that one right now, so that's fair.
No.
No. Excuse me. So instead, we're going to be watching a movie called... Where'd it go? Hello? Notes? What are you doing, Notes?
Fucking nailing this shit.
All right, there it is. So today we're going to be doing a little show called When Marnie Was There.
Ah, good old Marnie. I know her like a sister.
Do you?
Oh, yes, we go way, way back, Sean, ever since. We met when we were 7.5 years old, the both of us. We were born on the exact same day. We were both celebrating our half birthdays together, me and Marnie. I went up to Marnie and I said, why are you wearing a party hat? Are you celebrating my half birthday too? And she said, no, it's my half birthday. And I said, well, fuck. She said, that's quite some language for a 7.5-year-old. And I was like, hey, you didn't know the year. And she's like, I felt it in my soul. And I was like, God damn, Marnie, you're so intuitive. And I knew then we had a connection, Sean. Me and Psychic Marnie.
The weird thing is, Remington, like, you're not right, but I feel like a batter might take a few swings at some of these pitches, if you catch my meaning.
All right, so what's Marnie's deal? What's going on?
Well, see, that's the trick there, Remington.
Oh.
Marnie's deal is, well, we'll get to it.
Marnie's deal, she's fucking dead. It's just real tragic.
Yeah. So, Remington, this is a story about a little girl named Anna Sasaki.
All right, go to Lana.
Yep. And she was suffering from asthma attacks her whole childhood, essentially. She's
rough.
kind of quiet, unsociable, just regularly isolated from her peers. The sad, lonely kid trope, as it were.
Yep.
And in order to help with her breathing issues, her doctor, as all medical professionals do, instruct them to move to the countryside.
Yeah. All right.
As a doctor do.
Yeah, of course.
And thinking, that a clean air and a relaxing lifestyle will, in fact, help her health and improve it. Which, yeah, there's something there, but I feel like that's not like the first thing you go to when you're a doctor.
Yeah.
And not really feasible for everybody.
The first thing you go to is bloodletting, and then when that doesn't work out, you're like, shit, we've killed the first president of the United States. And then you just feel real bad.
Oh God, Remington, I think that might be the second George Washington murder joke you've made in like the past 2 weeks. I could be wrong, but I vaguely remember you talking about killing.
The death of George Washington has been on the brain, Sean. It's just something. It's probably due to the George Washington corpse I have in the corner. It's not actually George Washington, folks. It's just a real corpse dressed up like George Washington with a nice little wig. This is a weird episode, Sean.
It's gonna be a weird episode because the thing is, Remington, this is one of those Ghibli films. It's a newer Ghibli film. It came out in 2014.
All right.
And like I said, lots of critical praise, but and a lot of interesting side choices. We'll see. But where was I? Cleaning her hair. Yeah. So essentially, Anna is just spending her time sketching and hanging out with her aunt and uncle in a little seaside town. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, sure.
Then one day, Anna discovers an abandoned mansion, as you do.
Oh, of course.
Yep.
I'm sure this abandoned, dusty-ass building will have no consequences for her bad asthma.
What, you think?
Asthmatics love dusty spaces. It's a well-known principle.
Yeah, that's why whenever my asthmatic friend is like, oh man, we should go out and do something, the first place I take him to is, an asbestos-filled basement.
See, I often prefer to bring my good old asthmatic buddies to just a crypt. I find that to be a really good one.
Ooh, that's really nice. I should take my asthmatic buddies there sometime. I feel like they'd really appreciate the corpse dust. Corpse dust.
Listen, everyone has an asthmatic buddy, and every asthmatic buddy loves corpse dust. These are just the facts. This is just It's not ableism if it's true. God. Oh, no. Oh,
to
no.
all asthmatics out there, we apologize in advance and post our jokes. But
I love you
yeah.
all. You all sincerely take my breath away. All right, Sean.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I feel bad.
It's okay. They have a shorter life expectancy anyways. It's fine.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
We're gonna have to cut those out, I think. We're gonna have to cut those out because those are awful and not funny.
Dylan, ask an asthmatic friend if any of that was funny. And then cut as necessary.
I think asthmatic. I think that might work.
Cool. There we are.
It's okay. He could kick either of our asses if he wanted to. It's fine.
It's so true.
He's a stocky lad.
He doesn't even need to breathe to do it. Anyway,
Okay, back to business. She finds this mansion, thinks it's interesting to explore, where she runs into a rather bubbly, genki girl named Marnie.
But of course.
Yeah, because, kids, all kids love scary, abandoned mansions.
So
which is why
is Marnie actually a ghost? Is she actually dead?
Let's not talk about it right now,
Oh!
Remington, let's just talk about what goes on in this story.
Oh my
because
God.
Essentially meeting Marnie helps Anna be drawn out of her little closeted bitchy shell. And yeah.
Well,
And it's a story of her coming to realize how to treat people, as well as, finding out the mystery of this mansion called the Marsh House.
but of course.
And if you want more plot than that, Remington, you're gonna have to go and watch the movie, which is why we do this podcast.
I don't want more plot. That is what you've just described is all of the plot that I need, and then just let their friendship develop, and that's it. That's all I want.
Well,
That's
we'll
all
see.
I want. Oh shit.
We'll see. And just so that you can go into it with a clear head without any biases, the Mal score for this, which we definitely don't do in the first half because it usually can color your opinion of the show before going in, but we're doing it this time, just so you're aware, with 106,000 ratings, which is kind of low for a Ghibli film. It sits at an 8.10.
Oh, that's beloved.
Yeah.
I expected it, because of all the talk about like controversy, I expected it to be worse, but okay.
It's polarizing in a lot of ways.
I guess I'll see.
Yeah. My opinion on the show is it's okay.
That's the least polarized answer, Sean.
Yup. Look, if you wanted me to get angry and passionate about something, you could have chosen the worst one.
I mean, next time we do Gibbles.
Cause that one, like, just to part the kimono a little bit, give you a little peek. The one we could have done is one called Tales from Earthsea, which is an adaptation of the Earthsea series.
Oh, but of course, okay. Say no more.
And they decided it'd be a good idea to adapt all 5 books into one movie.
Oh,
hey,
God.
We're not doing that one. We're doing When Marnie Was There. So, Remington, buckle up. We're gonna jump into it. Let's go watch When Marnie Was There. Hey folks, Sean here. I've got a very special announcement that should have come much earlier, but due to my horrible negligence, I forgot to mention it. I was recently featured on the Full Metal Analyst podcast as a special guest. The folks over there were kind enough to invite me to review a single episode of the hit anime Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and give my thoughts, views, and opinions on the series as a whole. I highly recommend you go and check them out. They are quite amusing and quite fun, and I really cannot thank them enough for letting me participate. Once again, go on and check them out at Full Metal Analysts. They can be found wherever your tasty podcasts are sold.
Up next.
Yeah, we know you love your adopted daughter, but let's talk about some child abuse.
Whew, it is a bold decision, but sure enough, Big Gib decided, fuck it, that's where we're going.
Hey folks, it's your favorite weeb host Sean here, and I'm just coming in here right at the middle to tell you guys about a couple of our lovely friends in the podcasting world. First and foremost, I'd like to point you guys over to Shonen Flop. They're a podcast that reviews lesser-known canceled manga, including series from the creators of Naruto, Soul Eater, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You can find them over on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, or at their website, shonenflop.com. Go ahead and go give them a listen if you're at all curious about weird, lesser-known canceled manga. It's a very fun and interesting time.
Previously.
Is Marnie actually a ghost? Is she actually dead?
Let's not talk about it right now.
Oh! Oh! You nuggety whore.
Now, back to the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back after consuming the entirety of Omoi... not gonna say the Japanese name because I'm bound to screw it up. I am bound to screw that one up because I haven't practiced that one at all.
Man, we are starting this part 2 off with some energy.
Yes, we are. Omoide? I think no Marnie is it, or when Marnie was there. And Remington, I'm curious to hear what you think about this one because it's got some interesting aspects to it, and I'm curious to see how you're ready to dissect them. But I think we should get the most obvious and straightforward thing out of the way first. How's the water?
The water looks lovely. The water, absolutely beautiful. Stunning.
Okay, perfect. Ghibli does water quite well, I feel, so that's good.
So, we should also note there's going to be spoilers ahead. Marnie is largely a story all about it's a mystery, I suppose.
Kind of. Technically.
Let me say, if there is a plot, the plot is a mystery. That's so.
Yeah, the genre it has attributed to it is a mystery psychological drama.
Yes, which I suppose. I can't think of any better label to put it under. So we will be spoiling the mystery, immediately. So, just a heads up.
And who knows?
I'll say, if you want, check it out. Check it out. It's decently worthwhile.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe you accidentally spoiled the mystery in the first half of the episode. It's hard to say.
Who knows? Maybe. So, you mentioned that this was a polarizing show, right?
A little bit. It's not like a grand polarizing show. It's more of like it's divided cleanly into the people like, oh, I quite like that. And people are like, I say.
Yep. And there's 4 potential reasons that I think people may not be a huge fan of this show. 3 that emerged as I was watching and 1 that emerged at the very end. So the first one is that there's not much of a plot, which for me is a bonus, but for some people is going to be a negative. There's not much of a plot. It's just characters doing stuff, which I think is where the little Ghibli Bits productions do their best stuff.
I don't think you can call them that. I do not think you can call them that.
But some may not be a fan. The second possible thing that people really dislike about it is its unorthodox storytelling style. You get a lot of dreams and questioning reality and what's going on and flashbacks that may or may not be there, right? Shit like that. So if you're looking for a linear, plot-heavy story, you're not gonna find those things here. The third one is if you're not down on very heavy lesbian undertones. Borderline overtones, but we'll say undertones because at one point they pull the whole like, oh, we'll be friends forever, but like, we know.
Yeah.
We understand.
Yeah, we get it. You don't need to be shy about it. It was 2014 when this came out.
Yeah, we're not like 20th century historians looking back at ancient Greece and Rome and being like, oh yeah, just bros being bros. Like we get it. We understand.
Yeah.
So there might be some
attractive.
people.
It's a thing.
There might be some people who are bigots, and
I can confirm that for any people who have issues with this show, like legitimate issues, that's not really a big concern. Like
okay,
any real people, I would say.
Then we get to like the one more reasonable concern, and the only concern that has any weight for me. And it's the problem with having your sexual awakening with your dead grandmother. And
oh no, Remington, Ryan, you hit the nail on the head. Congratulations. Ding, 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 ding. You won the lesbian prize.
So that seems it is. It is a bold decision to have one sexual awakening come from their dead grandmother. But sure enough, Big Gib decided, fuck it, that's where we're going. And here we are.
I will say that it's not entirely this isn't like a Ghibli animated original. It is based off of a novel as well, Remington. It's based off of a English novel of the same title, When Marnie Was There.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Let's face it. I'm gonna say something about good old Gibbles.
Yes.
So Sean, you're our resident weeaboo, but Ghibli is our resident, like, Europeaboo. He...
I don't know if that's the best way to phrase it. Maybe
they
Europe,
love themselves an English countryside. They can't help it.
even though that this one is set in Japan.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
Kind of is, yeah.
It seemed like an English-Japanese amalgamation.
Yeah, no, like, this particular version is set in Japan.
Okay.
But, like, Marnie and her background, they are dictated as, foreign folk who live there. So it's a bit of a cross.
And
I haven't
even-
read the original book.
Even Anna, there's some comments that's like, wow, you look like a foreigner, which is a little, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, Gibbles. You don't need to everything. It's gonna be fine. They're Europeaboos. But, nonetheless, let's actually talk about, the movie proper, right? The movie, it's all about Anna, the lovely asthmatic, and she's just full of social anxiety and existential angst, which, relatable.
Yep.
The doctor checks up on her and he's like, all right, well, follow the treatment plan. And the treatment plan is getting her the fuck out of here. The doctor shows up and he's like, have you tried getting rid of her? Just, oh my God.
Yeah, we know you love your adopted daughter, but really the best thing for her is to just yeet her to the forgotten countryside.
So, she gets sent to her aunt and uncle. I believe she goes from her aunt foster parent to just her other aunt uncle dealio, something like that.
Yeah.
And so her aunt and uncle, they're lovely. They feel so real and authentic. It's really nice to see.
Arguably, I'd say they're probably the best characters in the show, just because I can imagine hanging out with this lovely old couple in the countryside.
They're so nice. I will say, when it comes to the characters, there's some lesser characters in this, one of which will be controversial, others which will be less so. But overall, characters are good. The aunt and uncle, they're lovely. Anna, is quite lovely. I like her character, growth most of the time. Sometimes it's a bit iffy, but most of the time it's good.
Yeah. She comes off as a bit unlikable early on and, at very, distinct parts in the story, but by the end of the movie, she's quite tolerable.
Yeah. So, she visits the mansion, the spooky mansion, looks around. She takes a nap there. When she wakes up, the path that she went there, the sort of marshy path, it's high tide, so that's covered in water now, so fuck you. And she's like, oh no, what do I do? Fortunately, there's a good old silent boatman that shows up. And
a strange old bearded boatman who doesn't say a goddamn thing.
Just waves her onto the boat, just like, yeah. All right, and hey kids, trust strange boatmen when they come to save you. Is that the message? I don't know.
I don't think that's the message we want to spread.
Fuck. Then she goes to her aunt and uncle's house and has the single most, deluxe dinner I've ever seen on a countryside. Holy shit. They have a full-on feast going on.
Yeah, no, no matter what the film is, quality aside, the one thing that they always spend all of their Sakuga budget on is the food. Because, my God, does it look delicious.
Yeah. She has a dream about the mansion, looking and seeing a girl in the window. Cool. She wakes up, she goes, draws on a boat for a while, runs an errand with her aunt, finds a woman painting the marsh from the pier, right? Has another mansion dream. Just a lot of casual stuff going on. The next like event is she goes to she attends a festival with one of the country girls, whose name was, wait, I have it written down somewhere. No, I don't have it written down. I don't know, some girl. Oh wait, Nobuku? Does that sound right?
Yep, that's
hey!
correct.
She goes to the festival with a country girl, Nobuku, and Nobuku, she's trying to be friendly, right? And pleasant, and Anna's just very standoffish. There's a moment where Anna, like, writes down a wish that's like she just wants to live a normal life. Nobuku is a little pushy and grabs the wish to read it. And Anna is like, listen here, you fat pig. And there's some weird tension. I think this scene could have been handled better. I get what they were going for, but I don't think it accomplished anything good.
Yeah, no, like, if they're going for, social anxiety and not wanting and having a hard time dealing with people, it's very rare for it to manifest in outright hostility.
Yeah, well, and I think even, like, the hostility is fine, just, like, how it developed. I think the scene could have been, I don't know, maybe even if it was just given a couple more minutes to let it grow a little bit more, let it breathe a little more. Feels a little bit abrupt, and once again, they have all of the elements there, it just seems a little bit compressed, It doesn't have time to breathe on any of the development that leads up to that point. So, Anna has a little bit of a breakdown. She runs down to the pier, and there's a little, like, flashback going on. There's quite a few flashback scenes. In this flashback, we see that Anna has a doll that's exactly like Marnie, and as well as just, like, fancy family stuff.
Yeah, very almost Victorian European.
Yeah. Anna sees a boat that's not taken by anybody and is like, all right, well, let's go to the mansion then. So she goes to the mansion where she meets Marnie, who helps her out because Anna's not great at rowing.
Yeah, something about asthmatics and doing hard, heavy labor. It doesn't really, for whatever reason, they just have the roughest go at it. I couldn't tell you why.
Weirdly, asthma doesn't play much of a role at all after the initial scene. Like, there's a few moments where it's like, oh, maybe we should be concerned. But no, she's sprinting around everywhere. She doesn't really care. Good for her. Good for you, Anna.
Yeah.
It really was just to get her fucking away. Or
Which
maybe
really
the air's
makes
just that fucking good.
Which really makes our targeted abuse at the asthmatics in the first half of this episode.
Targeted abuse? No, and listen, if you have asthma, send us an email telling us whether or not you love corpse dust. Like, I want to prove my point. I think they love corpse dust. So just send an email being like, hey, I have asthma, corpse dust is my favorite thing.
It's your jam. Breathe it up.
Well, maybe not breathe. They can do anything with it. Asthmatics, you can do anything specifically with corpse dust.
So really what we want is a thorough two-page report on how accurate the asthmatic nature of Anna is represented in this film.
Send
what
us
we
your
really
corpse dust essays. So Marnie and Anna, they get close together, right? They chat, they watch Marnie's parents. Marnie at this stage lacks much characterization, and unfortunately, she's one of the weaker characters of the entire movie, which is unfortunate. Marnie is like very Mary Sue, and I don't think she's a terrible character. She's interesting. She's good enough. She just doesn't have, like, the depth. It's, oh yeah, no, I'm a perfect girl, but I get neglected by my family. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, fine. We've seen that a billion times, and that's not much. It's just like, hey, I'm perfect, but home life is a bit rough. Okay.
Yeah, no,
sure.
I mean,
it's not terrible, but it is just a bit bland.
Yeah, considering that she's the title character after all.
Yeah, like, I wanted just a little bit more. Especially, and then also, Anna, anytime Anna is around Marnie, like, she doesn't have the social anxiety, which is nice. But she also loses any of her edge, which can sort of, like, show infatuation with Marnie, which can work. But it just felt like when they were together, they had chemistry, which I appreciate. But everything was just like smooth sailing. Everything's totally fine. No worries. It's not that I wanted intense conflict, but there just wasn't much. And then the moment or two of conflict feel very manufactured and weird, and we'll get to those.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's almost like that. There are some things in the show that aren't exactly well handled, but hey, what do I know? Yeah.
So they meet up a few times. They like have a picnic by moonlight. There's a
Very romantic.
There's a weird memory disintegration moment that I'm not going to explain because I don't know what the fuck happened, and I'm just going to leave it with that description. And,
Yeah, no, don't worry. I'd be hard pressed to explain it myself, honestly.
There's just some weird moments that I think. Here's the weird thing. I think on a rewatch, this movie would be a little worse because some of the things that sort of like feel like they make sense once everything is explained, I think still don't.
As someone who's watched this a couple times for research purposes, yes.
Yeah, like, weirdly, the movie feels more wrapped up and explained at the end than it actually is. But yeah, so there's just some weird moments, but they get close. There's like a fancy party that they go to, that Marnie's parents are having. There's some like social anxiety moments. Anna gets jealous of Marnie dancing with a boy, and so they dance by moonlight a little bit later, right? And it's a cute moment, cute little romantic moment. Forget about the fact that we've told you that this is her grandma. Don't.
Remember how you said it's a bit weirder on a rewatch? Yeah.
Like,
no, it's like the first time I see it, it's like, oh, hey, Granny.
This is a movie that I think watching one time it's a good experience. Watching any more than that, both for like the storytelling and also the sexual awakening via dead grandma. Like,
Well, we did say that asthmatics love corpse dust.
Goddamn, do they love corpse dust?
And what are ghosts if not just personified corpse dust?
Oh, fuck. So, then Anna's found at the side of the road, missing a shoe, passed the fuck out by some strangers. It's like, oh, what happened? What the fuck is going on? Nobody's really that concerned.
A sleeping child in the road. She's
But
fine.
she doesn't even look sleeping. She looks like she's been murdered. Like, she's missing a shoe. She's, like, face down in the dirt at an awkward angle. It's like, oh, God. But they're just like, oh, are you okay? All right, let's bring you home. And they're like, oh, thanks for bringing her home.
If she was murdered, I feel like the first suspect would be old boatman Toichi.
Probably, dude. Probably.
What's your alibi? Stay silent.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, shit. So, we meet the artist woman a little bit more, and we learn that the Marsh House, which is where we've been visiting the mansion with Marnie, a family is moving in. They're having renovations. There's like a new daughter. No idea what her name is.
Sayaka.
Sayaka is not a good character. She has no character. She's a plot device.
She very much reminds me of Konohamaru from Naruto.
Oh, yeah. She like... Yes. But like less character. And just even less relevant. She's just there. She's there to be like, hey, I found a diary from a girl named Marnie. Are you Marnie? Here, have the diary. Okay, cool. I'll let you know when I find more pages later. That's all I'm here for. It's like, oh, okay. So, this is the first, like, clue that, oh, Marnie is actually a real person, where previously Anna reveals that, like, she thought it was just sort of imaginary, which, I don't know, maybe makes sense.
There's
from some
some
perspectives.
swamp gas mixing with the corpse dust.
Yeah, but Anna thought Marnie was imaginary, just a really vivid imaginary friend, but now learning that it's real, and that her experiences with Marnie are matching experiences written in the diary, but there's some pages missing for no reason but a plot device, because the pages are found in a way that is not explained later, and there's I don't think it's explained why they were torn out other than to add more mystery.
It's
the diary...
It's not.
Yeah, I'll say the diary... All right, I've mentioned Ghibli, not great with plots. The diary is the entire plot, and all of it's handled poorly. It's just like, okay. So we have a dream that turns into actuality with Anna visiting Marnie. They have a long extended meeting and chat, talking about their lives. They decide to visit the old haunted silo to help Marnie face her fears. And they get in there and climb up, and then Marnie can't climb down. She's real spooked, and it's like, oh god, the storm is building up. It's really intense and spooky. And then Anna has a vision of Marnie's past, and then Anna wakes up and Marnie is gone. A nice weird sequence. If listener, if you have not watched it and you're getting a little bit lost, that's okay. You would be watching it as well. They wrap it up decently well, it all makes sense. But we'll get to that. They promise that they're going to be friends forever, right? Quote unquote friends. They also, so Anna's secret, that she tells Marnie, is that her foster parent gets paid a subsidy to take care of her, right?
Which, yeah.
Seems fine.
Yeah.
But and it's oh, and she hasn't told me. And I was I don't know, why would you?
Yeah, and why do you care?
Yeah, I don't know. It felt they made it way more of a bigger deal than it seemed like. And I get it. It's sort of they don't really love me. They're just doing it for the money. But while they're talking about this, Anna's I know they care about me, and they show a flashback of Anna being given a bunch of drawing utensils, showing that they care about not only her, but helping her explore her passions of art and everything. I don't know. Once again, there's a little bit of plot here, and it isn't good. Just a little bit okay. Truly, I am way back when I said that Studio Ghibli doesn't handle plot well, it has just become true every single time to the greatest degree. Maybe sometime they will have a really solid plot, but thus far, it is consistently the weakest parts of their movies. Nonetheless, Anna has been abandoned. Oh god. But the girl that we just met, Sayaka? Cool. Sayaka, she found the missing pages of the diary that mention Marnie going to the silo. So she's like, hey, big brother, let's go to the silo. I think my friend is there. Plus, I saw my friend go there. So, and they find her, and she has Anna has a really bad fever. And so they take care of her, bring her back home. Cool. We get another dream of the mansion. Anna is like, hey, Marnie, why did you leave me in the silo and betray me? And Marnie was like, I don't know. You weren't there or something. It doesn't matter. Please forgive me. And then it's okay, I forgive you. And it's all right, bye.
Conflict, how do we do conflict?
And this is so Ghibli to in the very last third of the movie be oh wait, let's introduce a conflict and immediately resolve it. Okay, cool. And it's why?
The fever doesn't even last longer than 5 minutes.
Every time you do this, you say, oh, okay, we have a plot all of a sudden. And now it's done. Cool. It's every time. Anyway, then we get overly long backstory from the artist. At this point, you probably have a lot of questions if you're watching the movie. And they decide to go from very, very obscure to just laying out all of the answers through exposition. It's a good 5-minute exposition dump, just explaining the whole thing.
But don't you feel sad, Remington? Don't you feel the emotions?
It was fine. So basically, Marnie, she was neglected by her super rich family, right? And abused by the maids, in a point that was both felt overemphasized and underemphasized at the same time. They didn't spend time with the abuse by the maids, but they also made it clear that that was like the worst part. It was very weirdly handled. But Marnie grew up and got married to the one boy who ever cared for her, right? Who Anna was sort of filling in for in all of the memories, right? They got married, they had a child, but then the dad died. Marnie went to an insane asylum, and things were rough. The girl, Emily, she was raised, she decided she was resentful to her parents because she didn't get a proper upbringing. So then she ran away with a dude and gave birth to a kid, and then she died. Her parents, so Emily and the other father died. So then the child had to be taken care of from the grandma before the grandma died, and the grandma's Marnie, and the child was Anna. There we go.
What a twist.
And that's like how it's just like, so then this happened and it was oh so tragic, but then this and then this and then this happened and it was oh so tragic. And don't get me wrong, like this shit is tragic, it's sad, it's a lovely story. Did it need to come in the form of just exposition dump? Like, you're like, oh, we're gonna tell the story in a real obscure, abstract way, and then just explain it all in the most blunt fashion. And then here's the thing. They do not have confidence that you understand it, because 5 minutes later, when Anna's being picked up by her guardian, right? Her guardian is like, hey, I just wanted you to know that your grandma used to live in the Marsh house and her name was Marnie. And Anna's like, wow. It's like, yeah, you gave us a 5-minute exposition dump about this, dude. We got it. This isn't a surprise. You told us.
Oh, also, we take money to take care of you.
Yeah. Now they feel the need to like just quickly just check off everything. They're like, oh yeah, we get money, and it's like, oh, I already know. Okay, cool, resolved. And then it's like, hey, girl, I remember when I called you a fat pig. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry too. Cool, awesome. Hey, Sayaka, you weren't relevant, so I'm just gonna say bye. All right, cool, bye.
You go hang out with the old boatman and hang out on the lake for a while.
Just hang out alone for some reason. So yeah, it's not a great movie, but it's a fine movie. I think that it's a nice, just, you know, cut out the explanation. Just leave that bit out, and it's a real solid movie.
Maybe have a time skip where she's hanging out with her new wife and she comes back and visits the old couple. That would be nice. That would be fun.
Yeah, I also, one question I have, who made the Marnie doll? Because in the flashbacks, it is very clear that Anna has a doll of Marnie. Did Marnie make her a doll of herself? Or did did Anna's mom make a doll of her own mother, but as a child? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Oh, I can answer that very clearly and succinctly for you.
Okay, cool.
No fucking clue.
Like, there's just a lot of weird moments. I feel like it would have been better if it was all in her imagination. I think making Marnie real, basically from the introduction of the diary onwards, I think it loses quite a bit. And don't get me wrong, I think people would be angry without a clear explanation. But I think just have it be this all be a great psychoanalytic, psychosexual metaphor. Keep it convoluted and obscure, but still touching and interesting. And it would be better. I think a lot of people would be less happy because there's less resolution. It probably wouldn't even be rated as highly, but I think it would be better.
Yeah. And just as a reminder for you, Remington, I mentioned it in the first half just to kind of give you a bit of preparation. But with about 100,000 votes on Mal, it is sitting currently at an 8.09.
Probably, that would be higher than I would rate it, but for
Same.
Weeb standards, I think it's fair.
I mean, it's a Ghibli. It's hard for a Ghibli film to go lower than an 8. I think the only one we've covered that's lower than an 8 was probably Ponyo. I think that was like a 7.8 or 7.9 or something like that.
But yeah, just reaffirming my ongoing Ghibli stance. They have amazing worlds, music, beautiful animation. Characters and relationships are usually really good, though some of them miss the mark. Just feels really human and authentic, and can't do plot to save their lives. Just cannot. at all. Like, I'm amazed I noticed it in the first movie we ever did of Ghibli, because it has just persisted.
I mean, you also noticed it because you just hate that movie.
I didn't hate. There's not been a Ghibli movie that I actively hated. There's just some that I thought were real mediocre. And the vast majority, I would say, are at least somewhat overrated, and some being very overrated.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the Spirited Away stands to get mad at you again.
I didn't say any specific movie. It's interesting that I said heavily overrated. Your mind immediately went Spirited Away. I don't know, maybe. maybe that's because it's true.
All these squares make a circle. Remington, you're too obvious.
Oh, God. But overall, I think that it's a fine movie about a lovely story, coming of age, and coming to realize one's sexuality with their dead grandmother.
And just for a bit of clarification for you, this was a English novel originally set in Norfolk, England.
Yep.
And was published originally in 1967. So, are the lesbian vibes there in the original novel? Hard to say. It was the 60s, so it could go either way. But very highly rated children's novel. Only about 200 pages, give or take. So, who knows? Maybe they nailed it with this adaptation, or maybe they pulled a Ghibli and did some strange things to the adaptation that are less than appealing.
Yeah.
But, Rem, I honestly think you hit the exact nail on the head with this one, because when I went into the research for this one and rewatched it for the first time in like 6 years, I was like, this is probably one of the weaker films overall. I don't hate it, but I don't really ever want to watch it again.
Yeah.
And it's now forever sitting in my Amazon library, so I have that to deal with.
Hell yeah, dude. All
right, then, Remington, I suppose the one final question I have to ask you is, any chance you'd like to watch When Marnie Was There again with me sometime?
You know, I'd recommend others watch it, but I don't want to watch it for a second time.
It gets really weird, Rem. Once you start seeing every scene with her, it's like, that's your granny. Oh, that's your grandmother. Oh, ha, ha, ha. That is not a person you should be falling in love with.
Oh, God. It's a really good love story. Asterisk with their dead grandma.
Yeah, I don't think I have to say this, but I'm gonna anyway. Don't fuck your dead grandmother. Bad move.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it. And with that, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoyed our musings on the lovely condition that is asthma, then please head on over to Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and leave us a review. It means the world to us and helps us a great deal. And if you'd like to help us even more directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you can gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus content, including having the opportunity to have Rem horribly mispronounce your name. And Remington, who are we thanking this week?
Well, as always, we would like to send our regards to all of our Blandovich protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But next we reach the yandere waifu tier, who are forcing us to snort corpse dust and fall in love with them. And on that list, we have Week 6 of being the world's worst jester. What did Ash do when he won the Pokemon League? He rang his victory bell. Ha. Weebs are as plentiful as grains of the sand, but there's only one Remington-sama. Walk me home gently. Uwu, oh, uwu, harder, Shion, I'm coming. Oh, God. Oh, no.
Ooh, I don't know about
Juliana,
that one.
just censor that one, Dylan. They'll know. Juliana, totally God. Tonight the moon has rose and a crimson red, but roses gotta wither, so I'll live forever instead, and now I can't get rid of all... Remember, it lies to you about the limits, so that's all it shows.
Also, you guys are getting way more obscure, but I can still tell the references, so...
The world shall know propane. Sorry, mother. Fitting. Snap Snips. Sean's request for Airgate suggestions week 3. Dog fuck idol quest. Oh no. Oh no. Scoopy Loopy Boopy Doopy Hoopy Goopy Oopy. Sarah Birch. Sammy Pritchard. Salty Pretzel. Sequoia Faye. Reverse Gizmo. Remington, connoisseur of anime titties. Oh god. Remington Merrill. Redneck Weeb. Ready to be isekai'd. Pre-banter can still get you pregnant. My besto friendo. Matthew, I listened to all of the episodes before subscribing and all I got was this lousy shout-out drum. Mahu no Pug Tears, Lonely Geek 23, Kitty, Juan Jaritos, Jax, Jacob Livingston, Jack of Spades, Ichigo Sim 015, H-Wood, Hanekawa, Hambone fucking, Hambone Fake Namington. Glenn Michael Dolan.
Oh, that
Ghostly Bishi.
ham
Sean rapping Christmas carols is my religion and antidepressants. Fuck of love, Foxen Boy. Farmer Leap wants Enjoy Wheeler. Baka Baka Baka, Yugs. Erica P. Devin McCutcheon. Darth Pikachu. Darkstorm713. Danny Morabito. Corey Des 63. Caiaphas Kane should be a living saint. Christian Crawford. Cheese Monkey. Ariel Bird. Apostle of the Church of Remington. Anime Duck. Andrew Sinclair. Andrew Rauke. Elise Howard. Alright, Rem, here's VTubers in a nutshell. They all have gimmicks. Hololive equals WWE. Ninja Sanji equals AEW. And V Shoujo equals 1990s ECW. Okay. Makes sense.
I can't believe people are trying to steal my job from me via our Patreon.
Nasi and Senyo. Thank you, all the underway waifus. God damn, there's so many of you now.
Yeah, no, holy shit. Holy shit, we are eternally
Which we
grateful.
love, but also, oh my god. Next we reach the Boy Wizard tier, and everyone on this tier is going to get their own. I don't think I've ever done this amazingly, and if I have, there's still more. Everyone's getting their own potion. I've done potion ingredients, I think twice, but I don't know if I've ever actually just done potions.
It's possible that at this point, you know, it's I think you've gone a bit delirious scraping this barrel, lad.
We might be on our last legs with the strictly Harry Potter theme.
Just now, after 152 episodes, you're thinking just now is where we've reached the limit.
The Brown Mamba, you are going to get the essence of insanity. It's exactly what it sounds like. The 13-year-old who loves Haikyuu, so Rem may be right. You're going to get the Chelidonium minuscula. No one knows what that potion does, so you're a guinea pig. Congrats.
Yeah, have fun with it.
That film guy, you are going to get rat spleen mixture.
Sorry? I don't remember that being relevant in the books.
It's a good old mixture of some rat spleen. Spicy Log Horizon is one of the best rated isekai. Use the BS rule hot take. You're getting a 10-second pimple vanisher. It treats acne, so congrats.
Yeah, I mean, that's very useful.
Rare Nyantatsu, please watch Nan Biori Kumiko. You are going to get, Beguiling Bubbles. It is specifically, it's a love potion that is sold at, the Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. So, do you trust it? Who knows?
I mean, should you trust the Weasley twins? No. Can you love the Weasley twins? Absolutely. Well, you can love one of them.
Womp womp. Pilchster the Symphogear Advocate, you are going to get the Drowsiness Draught. It'll put you to sleep, bud.
God, I could use that. That would be so helpful.
MT the Poet, you are going to get, a quad pot solution.
Sorry?
It prevents the quad from exploding.
The what? Are we talking
in the game of quad pot?
What? Are we talking about like your leg muscles, like a square on a college campus? What are we talking about?
During the game of quad pot, the quad, an exploding ball, is thrown around by players who attempt to get it into a pot at the end of the pitch.
But
okay, and the pot contains a solution that makes it not explode, which is.
I feel like there's a high casualty rate for this game.
Yeah, but you know, sports. This.
Blood Bowl
Miguel
seems
Delion.
safer.
Miguel, you are going to get Vitamix potion. It'll give you energy. It's Monster Energy drink. Congrats. Kazu Morocco, you are getting just a fucking hate potion. It's gonna show it will show the taker's worst traits and habits. So, I live in Ogden. Yes, that one. You are going to get Fergus Fungal Budge.
I'm sorry?
It's fungicidal treatment for ringworms on the feet.
But okay, great. Getting rid of parasites is awesome and all, but when did this come up in the
Dude,
lore?
I don't have answers for you. I call Bone Drew Daddy. You're gonna get Angel's Trumpet Draught. No one knows what it does.
Great. Cool.
But it has an Angel's Trumpet. Hanata has a Ball of Sunshine. You are going to get the Alahatsi Draught, which causes hysterical laughter. Drink it before listening to the podcast, and will actually be good. Dedicated Sadists, you, last but not least, are going to get the Garroting Gas. It causes choking and possibly suffocates.
Wait, can that even be a potion if it's a gas?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Now that we got that out of the way. Lore
All right, so then we move on
smashed.
to the Chef of Musco, Cory in the House, White House tier.
We still have more.
The cream of the crop. And this time, everyone is going to get their own imaginary friend from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
Oh, that's good. That's actually
right?
wow. That's good and relevant. Do you actually
But
remember any of them, or
plot
do you have a
twist-
list?
Plot twist, they are all going to be also your dead grandma. So,
Oh, I thought you were going
know,
to say they were going to be their sexual awakening.
they might be. I don't know, man.
That's going to raise a lot of questions, I think.
Zachary Shirley was referencing what you thought I was referencing, and I subscribed. You are going to get Coco, so congratulations. Uncreative Cretin, you are getting Walt, who's probably the best one, frankly.
Remind me of which one that is.
He's the tall boy.
The tall boy with the arm.
Missing an arm, right? He plays basketball. He's great. He's lovely. If he's your sexual awakening, we understand.
Climb that mountain.
Silken Spectre, you are going, speaking of mountains, you're getting Eduardo, right? Quite a frightened mountain, but a mountain nonetheless.
Yeah, he enjoyed potatoes, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah. And finally, last but not least, my mother. And my mother is going to get, I guess I'll just go blue. We'll go blue. So you get blue and his little squeaky elephant toy. Thank absolutely every single one of you. We really appreciate it. If you'd like to contact us, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can send us a tweet at AnimeConPod on Twitter, or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com. You can also go to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where I have been streaming Pokemon rankings based on normal criteria, and occasionally we stream other stuff too.
Yep, we're going to try and do a bit more variety content here and there. So if you like that, head on over, have a look-see. But once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in, and as always, don't fuck your sister. And what are ghosts, if not just personified horse pussy?
Send us your corpse dust. Hi, Sean. Ooh, a celebrity crush. All right, sure, why not? Let's hear about your celebrity crush. I don't know if I would count Benito Mussolini as a celebrity, and I also feel like it is very questionable to have a crush on them. No, but well, first of all, I don't think, like, it's kink shaming to just say that Benito Mussolini is a bad celebrity crush to have. I've seen that bald head. I do not think the bald head is waifu material, Sean. Nor, like, I feel like the baldness isn't the most important thing about him. Like, there are other bald individuals that could be a celebrity crush. Plus, like, celebrities. I just feel like Mussolini, you know, questionable
What the
choice.
fuck are you talking about?
Oh, were you not? Oh, that makes so much sense. Oh, I was wondering why you were going on and on about how Benito Mussolini was your celebrity crush.
Jesus Christ, Remington. I was gone for 5...
I found it questionable.
The only thing questionable is how long were you talking to yourself? I wasn't even in the room. I was taking a piss.